Unlock success. Master emotional discipline to crush your goals. When it comes to achieving amazing success and accomplishing your goals, discipline is key. And what's even more important than that is actually emotional discipline, being able to control your emotions as you're on these incredible journeys. So, discipline really is the key, right? To dealing with temptations, to being productive, to keeping your promises. Emotional discipline is crucial for your success. And if you have it, you're going to be more successful. And if you don't, not only will you not move forward towards your goals, but you'll actually take steps backwards. But discipline is challenging. One of the biggest challenges with discipline is it's not innate. It's something that generally has to be learned and developed. And learning that, another challenge, is difficult. It's hard to learn these things. So keep that in mind. It's challenging. Discipline, if it were easy, everybody would be successful. But it's one of those challenges that you have to undertake. We've got to improve our discipline, our emotional discipline, if we truly want to be successful. So what do we mean by discipline? Sourena defines it in a very crystal clear way that I think resonates with everyone. And that's basically prioritizing long-term goals over short-term desires. So the many different ways you've heard people define discipline over the years, I don't know that there's a better way to describe it than that. Long-term goals are prioritized over short-term desires. Now, you could probably relate to situations in your life, I know I can, where I've prioritized something in the moment that was not helpful in my long-term goals, right? We've all been in those situations, but think of that as we talk about this topic as the discipline. Again, one more time to hammer the point home, prioritizing long-term goals over short-term desires. You know, synonyms for discipline that you hear are self-control or regimented behavior or doing what needs to be done. Those are other ways you can call it, but at the end of the day, it's just prioritizing long-term goals over short-term desires. Again, discipline is important, one of the crucial components in your success. Your success is determined by a series of decisions. And if those decisions are good decisions, they compound into great results. And to make those consistent great decisions, it takes a lot of discipline. And that's why it's so important. And again, never underestimate the fact that small disciplined actions lead to long-term massive results and massive change. And in thinking about that definition of discipline, think about it this way. It's immediate gratification versus discipline, right? Because sometimes doing something in the moment is really gratifying. It feels good. It sends out endorphins. It's easier. It's more comfortable. But again, that's not discipline. But it's easy to fall victim because that can be very satisfying. But it's only satisfying in the moment. Because again, it's not taking us towards our long-term goals. So being able to delay gratification through discipline will help lead to larger rewards. And that's one of those skills that needs developed. But again, it's that temptation and short-term pleasure. Right? We've all been in those situations. We talk about the person who wants to eat healthier and live a healthier lifestyle, but man, that cookie in the moment. Does it help us live healthier and have a better lifestyle? No. But in that moment, it just tastes so good. So that's a very tangible analogy of that temptation, that short-term pleasure, and where you see discipline playing the part to help you avoid that. Say no to that because it's not part of your long-term goals. But we consistently succumb to these things, which is very common and very easy. We don't get where we want to go. Temptation and short-term pleasure. Those are two things that make discipline really challenging because discipline ultimately is saying no to those type of things. So imagine you decide, I want to be healthier and live a healthy lifestyle, but man, those cookies look great. If we succumb to the temptation of those cookies, which by the way, will give us immediate pleasure, we are no longer disciplined and we are taking us further away from that goal of being healthy. Or if you're looking to grow your business and you know you need to put in the work, but you're like, you know what? It's a Friday. I'm really tempted to leave early and go to happy hour. While in the moment, that temptation is there and you'll enjoy it and it'll be fun, but it's not taking you closer to your goals. So it's important to understand that there will always be temptations that have very real short-term pleasures. But again, as we said earlier, discipline is saying no to that and doing the right things to take you towards your goals. So that's something crucial that you have to think about. But it is like the butterfly effect in chaos theory. You know, life is chaotic. It's ups and downs, but it's all the consequences of past discipline. If you've had the discipline to say no to the cookie or to say no to leaving work early, then chances are you're going to be in a better position now, because that's just how that works. It's that butterfly effect, right? We've got this linear nature of life, and ultimately it becomes the outcome of all of these small actions. So even in the case of discipline, sometimes you think, you know what, I could just go ahead and do this now. It's really not going to have effect. It actually does. So having the discipline in those situations is crucial. And you got to be disciplined in the good and bad times, right? So whether everything is going really well or you're struggling right now, that discipline still always has to be there. And that emotional discipline involves staying focused regardless of how happy things are going or how challenging they are. And that's something important to remember, right? Sometimes when things are going really well, we let the discipline lax, but then things don't end up continuing to go well. That's when we really start to slip, right? And then, of course, the discipline, the woe is me, you know what, things are bad anyway, I'm just going to give that up. No. If you want to truly be successful, you want to achieve those amazing things, you want to accomplish your goals, it's essential that that discipline remains, whether times are good or bad. The other thing about discipline that Sourena will always tell you is discipline is crucial when it comes to decision making, right? If we want to make the right decisions, we've got to have that discipline. Kind of ties into everything we've talked to up to this point. Trevor Moawad advises that achieving neutrality in decision-making by calming down, that's that emotional discipline, and assessing facts, that feel versus real. That's something that we talk about a lot, right? Feel versus real. In your decision-making, if you want to make the right decisions, ones that help you accomplish your goals, you want to base them on real and not feel, but feel could be, that's your emotions, can be so dominating. So sometimes the real, the data, the research, the practicality gets overshadowed by an emotion. Really good decision makers don't let that happen. They prioritize real over feel. So emotional discipline is essentially making those calm, cool, collected decisions when you're under pressure. Another part of discipline is avoiding distractions. When we have good disciplinary practices, we can avoid distractions. You know, one of the things that's totally distracting in our world are our phones, right? We have those phones and it buzzes. Is that a social media alert? I got to check again. I've got to check my email. I've got to text, right? But having systems in place and using your discipline to avoid those distractions are going to keep you more productive. How many times have you picked up your phone to do one thing, and the next thing you know, 10 minutes is gone, and you didn't even do the thing you picked up your phone for? You've checked your emails, you've checked your social, you've done all these other things, and you're like, oh man, it's almost like attention deficit when you pick up your phone, right? But discipline helps us avoid that. It keeps us on track. So it's important to understand that that's a key to helping with keep good discipline, to stay on track to our goals, is minimizing distractions. And again, if you want to avoid distractions, you got to maintain a high level of discipline. Enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, and I'm sure that you did. Make sure you like it, share it, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Now, this is challenging. I think you're probably a little overwhelmed right now, but don't be, because discipline, as long as you continue that long-term thinking, right? Keep your eye on the prize. What are you trying to accomplish? When you have that goal and it's crystal clear and it really is something that drives you and it means something to you, that's where your focus needs to be. And when you keep your focus there, that helps build the disciplinary strength it takes to avoid short-term rewards, to avoid caving in the moment and making the wrong choices and making the wrong decisions, right? It's that long-term thinking. You've got to put the long-term goal above immediate desires. That's where we come back to that neutral decision making. Stay neutral when you make decisions. That means remaining disciplined. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Use data, use facts, use science. Put real over feel. That's that emotional discipline, because external factors are always going to try to sway your emotions. But if you can remain neutral when you make decisions, that's the discipline you need to stay focused, to make better decisions. And again, as we said earlier, those are a compound decision, good decision, good decision, good decision, lead to some amazing results in the end. So don't forget, discipline, more specifically emotional discipline, is absolutely crucial to you achieving success and accomplishing your goals. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, and I'm sure that you did, make sure you like it, share it, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel.